Have you ever been standing in a forest and just felt something? You know, that feeling that you're surrounded by something way bigger than just a bunch of trees? Well, turns out you were absolutely right. Today, we're going to dive into this incredible idea that a forest isn't some silent competition, but actually a single, intelligent, and deeply connected system. It's a forest-wide family, and the science behind it could honestly change how you see the world. And this powerful idea, it comes from the mind-blowing work of a scientist named Suzanne Simard. Her research didn't just add a new chapter to what we know about forests. No, it completely flipped the script. It revealed this hidden world of cooperation and communication that was right under our noses, or I guess our feet, for centuries. All right, so how does this all work? Let's get into it. For this first part, we're actually going underground. We're going to uncover the secret network that makes a forest, well, a forest. Think of it as a biological internet that will totally change how you see the ground you walk on. For the longest time, the story we told ourselves was that trees were in this constant, lonely fight for survival. You know, the tallest one gets the sunlight, the one with the deepest roots gets the water, and that's the end of it. It was this classic Darwinian, every tree for itself kind of story. But that story, it was missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. And here it is. This is the missing piece. Dr. Simard's work uncovered what we now call the Wood Wide Web. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's this biological internet made of these huge underground networks of special fungi. They physically connect the roots of different trees, creating a forest-wide grid that can stretch for miles in every direction from where you're standing. It's incredible. So how does this sharing actually happen? Well, it's basically a three-step dance. First, these fungi create links between tree roots. And get this, even between totally different species, like a birch tree and a fir tree. Second, trees that have extra resources, like carbon and water, can actually send them to their struggling neighbors through this network. It's a system of mutual aid. And third, and this is the part that just blows my mind, you have the mother trees. These are the ancient central hubs of the whole forest. And they don't just help any old seedling. Simard's research showed they can recognize their own kin and will send them extra nutrients to help them thrive. They're creating a safety net for the next generation, making the entire forest stronger. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. If this is nature's blueprint for a thriving, resilient community, it raises a huge question, right? If forests can do this, what can we humans learn from them? Could we actually apply this model to our own world? And this isn't just some philosophical question. I mean, really, what if? What if we stopped seeing conservation as all these separate little projects and started building a human wood wide web to restore our wild places? Could we create our own kind of mother tree to nurture a whole community dedicated to healing the planet? Well, it turns out someone is trying. And that brings us to an organization called Wildlife Parks Unlimited, or WPU. Their entire mission is built on this exact idea of reconnection. They believe that for way too long, fences, both real ones and the legal kind, have locked people out of the very lands they would normally love and care for. WPU's whole goal is to tear those fences down. And this lays it out perfectly. You've got two different ways of thinking about this. The old model, passive conservation, often just meant locking the land away. But that created this huge disconnect. WPU is all about active stewardship. It's a model where you restore access, you reconnect people, and then that community becomes the most powerful force for restoring the land itself. Okay, so how in the world do you build a human network that's actually strong enough to heal ecosystems? Well, this next part breaks down WPU's strategy. It's all about creating their very own mother tree, a central hub for community conservation. So at the very heart of their strategy is this idea. They are literally building a human mother tree. But instead of a network of fungi, they're building a network of people. And they're creating these really simple, clear pathways for absolutely anyone to plug in and contribute to the health of the whole system. So the first way in, the first connection point, is membership. But look at how they've designed this. It's all about accessibility. You've got everything from a free newsletter to a family plan. They're basically removing all the usual barriers to make it super easy for anyone to just raise their hand and say, okay, I'm in. But hey, money is just one way to connect. WBU's real genius is how they mobilize people's time and their passion. And this is where the idea of tiny tasks comes in. And trust me, it is a total game changer for how we think about volunteering. Their entire volunteer program is built on this one amazing idea: radical accessibility. See, WPU looked at traditional volunteering and saw all the hurdles. You have to live nearby, you need special skills, you have to commit huge chunks of time. So they just threw that whole playbook out the window. Their model is designed to take even the smallest spark of interest and turn it into real, meaningful action, all through these tiny, repeatable tasks. So check out what this looks like. On your second day as a volunteer, they ask you to take a photo of some ground near you. That's it. On day 4, you share a 10-word observation, like 2 bees on purple asters by the mailbox. Then by day 6, you invite one friend. Do you see? Each task takes seconds, but it's brilliant. It builds a connection, it forms a habit, and it starts growing the network all on its own. And it doesn't just stop there. They keep people engaged with things like weekly field challenge Fridays. People post photos of local wild areas, and together they're building this massive, crowdsourced map of places that need a little love. All those individual tiny tasks start to add up to this huge pool of shared data. Now, a network like this, whether it's made of fungus or of people, it needs more than just physical connections to work. It needs a shared set of rules, right? A kind of symbiotic code that guides how everyone interacts. So let's look at what holds the WPU community together. And this is that code. This is what binds them. WPU makes membership more than just a transaction. They ask every single person to agree to a shared set of principles, the member promise. And this isn't just some list of rules. It's the ethical foundation for the entire community. It's the shared values that make sure everyone is pulling in the same direction. The promise itself is just so simple and powerful. It's about respecting nature and serving your community. It's about leaving places better than you found them and always acting with kindness. And super important, it's about staying safe and committing to always be learning. This shared agreement is the glue. It's what allows this human network to function with trust and a real unified mission. So that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We started with the science of one single mother tree being the anchor for an entire forest. And now, after seeing how one organization is trying to apply that very same principle to people, the question for all of us really becomes, what is the true potential of a single, deeply connected community all acting as one to restore the wild?